A very good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you're all doing fine. So, hope you understood the last class, which is types of respiration, where we have seen the tracheal respiration, bronchial respiration, cutaneous respiration, and pulmonary respiration in animals, right? Okay. So, if you have not seen that, you can check the links which are given below, and you can watch the video again. Okay. So now we are going to come to a next topic, that is respiration in the plants. So when you talk about the respiration in the plants, okay, from the childhood onwards, a point is fixed in our minds that plants take carbon dioxide and give out the oxygen, and whereas animals take oxygen and give out the carbon dioxide. Plants takes carbon dioxide and gives out the oxygen. Animals take oxygen and gives out the carbon dioxide, right? Okay, this is, I don't say this is absolutely false and all, but they definitely take carbon dioxide and gives out the oxygen, but process is different. That process is called as the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process in which the plants take the carbon dioxide and gives out the oxygen, but whereas respiration is different. Respiration is very much common in the both organisms, that is in the plants and also in the animals. So it's a similar process. There is no change at all in the animals or the plants. In both animals and plants, the respiration process same, where plants and animals take the oxygen and gives out the carbon dioxide. Okay, now the next question which arises is, if the plants are taking the oxygen, right, and giving out the carbon dioxide, right, how do they have some special organs, or do they have the organs as we have in our body, like the respiratory system we have? Do the plants also have some similar kind of respiratory system? So now we are going to answer all those questions. Okay, now let me draw a plant for you here. Hope you are looking here. Now if I draw a plant here, okay, these are the roots, right? Now this is a stem and a kind of branches, okay. These are the leaves. I'm drawing a big leaf here, okay. So now these are the different parts in a plant, right? Now this is the stem, these are the leaves, and these are the roots. Okay, children. So now here, if you see this plant and all, like the respiration, how the respiration takes place in the plants here, right? So that is what we are talking about. Now if you see the leaves, right? So the leaves will have some pore-like structures which are called as stomata. And these stomata are actually responsible for the exchange of gases. So the exchange of gases basically takes place in the leaves, isn't it? So leaves are the respiratory organs which are present in the plant. Okay, so stomata. Okay, now if you see here, if you see the structure of a leaf here right now, so I have drawn here. Now these are the air spaces. These are all the air spaces in which the exchange of gases will take place. Okay, so the oxygen goes inside, okay, and the carbon dioxide comes outside. So all the process will take place here, right? So now here, when you come to the stomata, you can see a small pore-like structure which are covered by two cells. Okay, these cells, let me draw it a bit big. I'm rubbing this one. Two bean-shaped cells, okay, which are called as the God cells. The spore which is in the middle is called as the stomatal pore, or else we also call it as the stoma. Okay, and these God cells, okay, they will have chloroplasts in them. They will have the chloroplasts in them, and they are also covered by some cells which are called as the subsidiary cells. Okay, so now these are the this is the shape of the stomata. Now this is a stoma which is responsible for the exchange of gases, right? So the stomata, right, on the whole you can say the stomata is responsible for the exchange of gases. This is the one which takes the oxygen inside and gives out the carbon dioxide outside. Now coming to the oxygen and carbon dioxide. So basically when you, okay, now this is what happens in the leaves, right? Now we'll come to the stem part. Okay, so we'll go to the stem part, right? This is in the leaves, and now we'll come to the stem part. In the stem part, you know, like there are two kinds of stems. One, you can take it as a woody stem. Second one, you can take it as a herbaceous stem. You can take it as a herbaceous stem. So the woody stem will be a bit hard and will be a kind of brown in color, and herbaceous stems are absolutely green in color. Okay, if there are herbaceous stems and if they are green in color, the respiration will again occur with the help of the stomata. So the stomata are present on the green stems, and these stomata will take care of the process called as respiration, that is taking the oxygen and giving out the carbon dioxide. So especially in the herbaceous stems which are green in color, there are stomata present on the stems, and they will take care of the respiration, and exchange of gases will take place in the stomata. They are the ones which will take the oxygen and gives out the carbon dioxide. Okay, now when you see the woody stems and all, these woody stems are a bit hard. That is what we are studying here. They are a bit hard, and now what happens here is they will have some special pore-like structures which are called as lenticels. Which are called as the lenticels. These are the lenticels which are present on the hard stems, of kind of woody stems here, and these lenticels are responsible for the respiration process. So the stem respires with the help of the lenticels, especially in the woody stems. If it is herbaceous stems, stomata will take care of the respiration. So here the respiration process will take place with the help of lenticels. Okay, that means lenticels are helpful in the exchange of gases. Is it clear? Great. So now this is about the stem. Now we'll come to the root. So now we'll come to the roots, right? So if you observe the roots and all, know, like roots which are located into the earth, deep into the earth, into the soil, will have some hair-like structures which are basically called as root hairs. What they are called as root hairs, and these root hairs are usually unicellular. They are made up of single cell. They contain only single cell. So these are unicellular in nature. Now basically, see, when they are in the soil, basically what happens is the soil will be around the root hairs. So around the root hairs there will be soil, right? And the soil, this soil will have the air spaces, and air spaces will contain the oxygen molecules. Okay, the oxygen gas is present in between the spaces. That's why always know, like the farmers will plow the land. What is the reason behind for plowing the land, the reason behind is they want to keep their soil porous in nature. Porous in nature in the sense they want to make sure that the soil has the pores, in the sense empty spaces where air will go and fill in that. Okay, the vacuum will be filled with the air. The spaces in the air, the spaces in the soil will be filled with the air. So that's the reason why. Because what is the reason behind that? See, when there is air inside, then the root hairs, what they will do is, these unicellular root hairs, they will take the oxygen. Now they cannot take the oxygen very easily, but they will take the oxygen by the process which is called as the diffusion. By the process called as the diffusion. Diffusion, already we know that the movement of the molecules from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So the molecules, so when you see the oxygen here in the atmosphere, it is high. When you see the root hairs and all, no, the oxygen levels are low. So they will move from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So that is how the movement of molecules will take place in the from the soil into the root hairs through a process called as the diffusion. So if you observe very carefully here, the root hairs are responsible for the respiration process. They are responsible for the respiration process, and the respiration process will take place through the process called as diffusion, especially when you're talking about the roots. When you talk about the leaves, stomata are responsible. When you talk about the stems, lenticels are responsible, especially in the woody stems. If it is herbaceous stem and all, no, like stomata will take care of them, right? Now there are some plants which are near the beaches, like like shores. Okay, especially if you take the example of the mangroves, right? These are the plants, these are the trees which are in the damp areas, right, which are completely muddy areas, right? So here the root hairs are completely in the submerged in the water, where there is a lot of mud and all, and water are present. So here the respiration will not be possible. The respiration is not at all possible. Okay, because if there is a presence of water over there, the plants cannot take the proper oxygen, and that will result in the death of the plant. That's why they follow a different process, right? We'll see what the process is. Okay, now these are the mangroves. These are the mangroves and all, which are completely submerged in the water. Now what they will do is, they will have a special root system which arises from the stem, like this, from the nodes of the stem, which are, these roots are completely outside. They are not in the, there are roots in the water, but most of the time the roots are outside and they are directly exposed outside, and these roots are called as the aerial roots, through which the plants, the mangroves, are able to take the required amount of oxygen, especially for the root system. Okay, the remaining will be the process same, like leaves and the stems and all, that will be same, but especially for the root system, especially for the roots to survive, they require oxygen, right? And the oxygen will be taken by the aerial roots, which are completely above the water level, above the ground level. So they are directly seen outside. So these mangroves, okay, they will take the required amount of oxygen. That means the exchange of gases takes place in the aerial roots. Okay, children. So now this is about the, especially where we talked about the stem, we talked about the roots, and also we talked about the leaves and all. Okay, now coming to one more point. Okay, this is a very important point. Okay, let me rub this one. Hope you have written this. Let's talk about the daytime and nighttime. So especially when there is daytime, there will be sunlight. Okay, in the sunlight, plants will perform the photosynthesis process, right? So now, even though there is sunlight, the plants will take the oxygen and gives out the carbon dioxide, because this is the process of respiration and that should continue, it cannot stop. Okay, and whatever the carbon dioxide is given out, that will be utilized by the plant for the process of photosynthesis, especially when there is sunlight, because sunlight is already we have learned in the first unit that sunlight is a very important factor for the process of respiration. If you put the plants in the shade, they cannot prepare the food material, they cannot prepare the starch, right? The food will not be prepared in the plant if you keep them in the shade. Okay, if you keep them away from the sunlight, no, the plants will not be able to grow. So now the sunlight is very important here. So when there is sunlight, then the respiration process will continue and the oxygen will be taken, and whatever the carbon dioxide is given, that carbon dioxide will be utilized by the plant for the process called as photosynthesis. So after photosynthesis process, right now this is going on, and when it becomes night time, when there is no sunlight, then what happens is plants will respire oxygen and they will give out the carbon dioxide, which will not be utilized by the plant anymore because there is no sunlight. So no photosynthesis process will take place and this carbon dioxide enters the atmosphere. Okay children, so you have to remember this one. It's a very important topic. Okay, right. So this is what is this is how the respiration in the plants usually takes place. Hope you all understood the process of respiration, and if you really have any doubts and all, no, you can please send me a text message. You can always text me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. As soon as I see your messages and all, no, I'll get back to you. Okay, so now that's all for today. Hope you all understood this topic and all, and tomorrow we'll meet again with a new unit. Okay children, so that's all for today. Take care, have a nice day, bye.